Hello.
Hello, is this Harry speaking?
Yeah, hi.
Hello, this is Mia from the London Survivors Gateway. Is this Harry?
Yes, hi.
Hello, is this a good time to talk?
Yes, thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much for waiting. I've spoken with my manager about what steps we can take for you. So I'll just explain those to you now. So what we will do is contact the Lambeth Social Services to advocate on your behalf. I know that you've done all this work in contacting social services and Social Care England yourself, and they just haven't listened to you. So we, as a sexual violence organisation, can write to them to explain the situation and advocate that they need to take it seriously and give you better support around your safety to protect you against things that aren't right happening to you again. How does that feel?
Thank you for your help.
Yeah, is that okay with you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I will be doing that then. The second thing is, while there's social services, we believe you also deserve some more specialist support if that's something you're ready for. So there are organisations that specialise in supporting people who have experienced sexual abuse or abuses of power, and they can talk to you about understanding the relationship with your guardian a bit better to help you understand what's happened to you. And then if there are any kind of practical measures around your safety that you are interested in, they can explore those options with you. But it would be a chance to speak with a specialist sexual violence organisation. Do you think that's something you'd be interested in?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah? Okay. Can I just double check, because we're on the phone, is your gender male or something else?
I'm born male, but I have a dual identity.
Okay.
Can I explain?
Yeah, of course.
Is this because how can I put this? Fertility-wise, I'm male. However, as I lack mental capacity, I have to have a guardian. And for a guardian to exist, there has to be a bond between us. And it can't just be sexual. For example, because that can just fizzle away. So a baby has to be produced to create something that will be a bond. So ideally, a guardian for me has to be a female. And it's important to realize that as an individual, I don't exist. I can't legally exist. So my mental capacity and my legal existence is complemented by a female person with whom I have to have a baby. So I have a dual body identity. I'm born individually as a male, but after my 1990 brain injury, I have to use somebody else's brain. So that means that part of my bodily function is carried out inside the body of another human being that happens to be female. So that is why I have, excuse me, my gender pronouns are they, them, and their. And I don't know if that makes it clear. I guess it's unusual and difficult for people to understand.
That's okay. Gender can be really different from person to person, and your own unique experience and identity with gender is completely valid.
Yes.
I'll definitely make a note that your pronouns are they, them,
not
and their.
Yeah, I'm not. I think the expression is non-binary. I don't know if that's right, though. I don't really understand the terminology.
Yeah, so that is a term that we often use and a lot of people use when they don't identify singularly as female or singularly as male. They don't want to belong to just one of them. They kind of exist outside of that.
Yeah, I'm not involved in any sexual preferences. Other than that, with a guardian, I have to be involved with sexual intercourse and the production of children. So I don't really understand how to really explain that in terms of equalities monitoring.
That's okay. You don't need to explain yourself in really concrete terms at all. I've taken note of everything you've said, and it does make sense. We don't need you to give a definitive answer about your identity if that's not comfortable. But I'll definitely make a note that you identify with they, them, and their pronouns, and that you have a dual identity when it comes to your gender.
Yeah, and I'm very protective and caring of my guardian. I treat my guardian with the utmost and greatest respect, even if it is an abusive relationship, because I have to maintain my mental capacity at all costs.
Okay.
I don't know if that helps.
I hear that. It sounds like it's someone that's important to you, which makes it really difficult when you've just been told that the relationship is maybe something that you hadn't perhaps thought before. I can imagine how difficult that must be.
Yes, I find it abusive. And if I talk to people like the Samaritans, they keep saying things to me, why are you giving this person £1,000 a month if you're not even seeing them? And I have to fully support this person who's supposed to be living with me in order for me to maintain my mental capacity. And yet I find that their absence is causing a lot of problems for me.
Okay.
I cannot make proper decisions. I'm ending up with a lot of trouble, and I don't know how to handle it. Like for example, as a wheelchair user, I have to build my own wheelchair because the ones from the NHS are not suitable for my types of spinal injury. And when I lost my guardian, I no longer had anywhere to stay, so my mobility increased, and so I had to get my wheelchair that I was building at one factory and take it to another factory. And because I turned up at 10 o'clock at night at the factory, I didn't realize that the parking in front of the factory was private property. And so the police, I was just waiting for 8 o'clock when they opened in the morning. And then the police prosecuted me for trespass.
Oh, no.
You see, so what you have to understand is that I cannot defend myself against this prosecution because it will cause me to have seizures. And I wouldn't have been in that position if my guardian hadn't disappeared and left me homeless and in urgent need of repairing my wheelchair.
Yeah, that's a terrible situation to be in. So what happened when I hear you're saying that your guardian left. What happened there?
My guardian disappeared on the 4th of June. The problem is that we were surviving on my benefit money, which wasn't enough. And they didn't have a national insurance number. And so in order for them to get a national insurance number and to be able to work, they went and registered in a home for, what's the expression? Abused housewives.
Okay.
And
can I just check, is your guardian female?
yes.
Okay.
I said I have to have a baby with this person. I can't produce a baby with another male.
Yeah. Did she tell you that you needed to produce a baby, or is that coming from yourself?
No, that's the situation. I have girlfriends, but the problem is that if there is no baby, then there's nothing to sustain the relationship. If you have a baby with somebody, it's a form of bonding. And so, for example, I had a girlfriend around about from about 2016 to about, and another one before that for some years. But these people were not suitable as guardians because there was nothing really kind of linking us together. And it's only that from this one who I met in 2022 that the baby was produced, which then made the feasibility of guardianship much more, what's the word? I can't find the word. The guardianship, feasible.
Okay. So you have a child with your guardian in 2022, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And is this child under your care, under her care? Where is it?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that.
Okay. And are there any social services involved with that child?
Too many.
Okay.
Yeah, we're having constantly our family members, their homes keep being broken into by the police trying to find the baby.
I see. Okay.
And it causes a lot of problems because being a disabled person, I'm reliant upon other people like family members to help look after me. And then they're turning around to me and say, look, I came home, my door was broken down with a note from the police, looking for babies. Or somebody will say, well, the police came around at 4 o'clock in the morning and broke my door down looking for children. And And so we constantly have these problems by people breaching our data privacy and not understanding the situation that we're in.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like a complex situation.
It's not complex. It's just basic data privacy not being kept.
Okay.
And so the thing is that when the Guardian left on the 4th of June, I was thrown into a trauma. And I had to suddenly get this wheelchair fixed. It caused a lot of problems. And then when I asked medical people what I should do, they said I should go and find another guardian. And I don't understand. I can't form relationships anyway. I'm brain injured. I have autism. Why should I then start a sexual relationship with another person? I don't really understand how I can even do that.
Yeah, I completely hear that.
Especially if these relationships are, what's the word? They're medically coercive. They're forced upon me by my medical condition. Because without a guardian, I can't legally exist. And the reason that this guardian didn't work, even though we had a baby to bond us, is because the guardian didn't have any training. And it's only through talking to ChatGPT about creating the training program that ChatGPT is throwing up these concerns about abusive relationships.
Yeah.
And if I get another guardian, it's going to be another abusive relationship, unless I can get the prospective guardian trained in advance.
Yeah. Can I ask the most recent guardian, where did you meet this person? Was she assigned to you?
I met them in the museum.
Okay. So did you just start up a conversation?
Yeah, that's right. I was just in the museum looking at traditional clothing, and we were looking at the same display.
I see. Okay.
We were looking at traditional clothing styles, from hundreds of years ago in the museum.
Okay, I see. You struck up a conversation, a relationship started, you had a child together. Were you living together as well?
And not when the person became pregnant, but after the person became pregnant, my daughter look after them because I'm a homeless person. And after about 3 months being looked after by my daughter, My guardian found a home to live in, and I paid for that. But I didn't always live there. I just paid for the place. I mean, I didn't pay for the place. I paid the guardian money. The guardian every month would ask me for about £1,500 to pay for their rent and pay for their bills. And I just used to transfer the money.
Are you not still doing that anymore?
Oh, I'm still doing that, yeah.
Still doing that, okay.
But I can't stay in the place where they're staying because it's a home for abused housewives with children. And so, for example, if the local government or the local council were to realize that this person was still involved with a man, it's very likely that the council would just throw them out on the street again and make them homeless again.
I see.
And I think that's part of the problem with the Guardian, is that the Guardian initially did not have a social security number in order to work. The only way they could get one is to register with the council as a single mother. Then they stuck it in a hotel. Then they managed to get her a social security number that we couldn't get any other way. We tried for like 3 years to get that, and the government just wouldn't give it because the person was an illegal immigrant.
I see.
And so the only way they managed to get that, and as a result to get a job. And so that's what they did. But I think part of the reason that they haven't wanted to see me for 5 months now, is because they feel that if somebody sees me with them, it would jeopardize their status in the refuge that they're in. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
But the problem is that when I was paying for them to have a home to stay in, it kept me off the streets. And when they went into the women's refuge, I was then thrown onto the street without a proper wheelchair. And I started getting into a lot of trouble with the police because of my I can't mobilize properly because of my spinal injuries. I've a lot of leg injuries, and when I get in trouble with the police, I can't communicate with the police to defend myself, because if I'm put in a confrontational situation, I'll just end up having seizures.
Yeah.
So I get lots of criminal records because of the police stopping me in my wheelchair.
Okay, I see. Thank you for explaining.
They say it's like I'm an obstruction, they say. So at the moment, I'm trying to get a number plate for my wheelchair from the DVLA. So that means once I've got a number plate, I can then take out insurance. And if the police stop me on the road, they can't say that I'm an obstruction, because I've got a number plate, I've got insurance, and I've got a driving license. But it takes it's very unusual to put a number plate on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
But I can't use my wheelchair on the pavement. I can only use it on the road surface because of my level of disability means that I cannot. The pavement is too uneven and there's too many other pedestrians there. It's not safe. It's like it would be like somebody driving a car on the pavement. It wouldn't be safe.
Okay. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I'm just tying up some notes quickly.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't make it clear to start with that my guardian wasn't a male.
on that as a detail, but thank you. You've explained everything really thoroughly, so I appreciate that a lot. So in terms of the support, I know when we were speaking earlier, you were saying that it sounded like at the moment you're living on the streets and you're not looking for support to move into housing. Is that right?
No, I've got a council tenancy, but I can't live there because it's not wheelchair accessible.
Oh, okay. That doesn't seem right at all. I mean, have you spoken to them to fight against that at all?
Yes, I try to speak to people, but because of my brain injury, it's very difficult to communicate. There was a man called John Britton from the Homeless People's Organization, but he breached my data privacy. And when I went to the wheelchair service last week, they told me that was in Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire. They told me that they weren't going to fix my wheelchair because I'm supposed to get it fixed in London. But I can't get it fixed where my council tenancy is because the local wheelchair service have banned me because I haven't got the mental capacity to register with a local GP. That's why I was getting it fixed up in Aylesbury.
Okay, so the local place should repair your wheelchair in London has banned you because you have no GP.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other problem was that somehow John Britton managed to breach my data privacy so that the wheelchair service found out about the address of this council tenancy in London. And then they said to me, we're not going to fix your wheelchair. Go to London and get it fixed. And that left me, now my wheelchair's broken. It's even more difficult for me to mobilize. So I've had to approach the wheelchair services in Kent and the wheelchair services in Wandsworth to try to fix the wheelchair. Then I have a GP in Southwark, and they've been making referrals for me since 2022, but the hospital, it's either St Thomas's or Guy's Hospital, they don't get in contact with me and they never pick up the phone.
Okay. Hugely frustrating. Which GP practice is it you're registered to?
I don't want to say in case somebody contacts them. Because I have my registration is not linked with the NHS somehow, and I feel that I'm very reluctant to go to them in case I cause problems and I get removed from the patient register, which always seems to be the case.
Okay, I understand. That's absolutely fine. Okay, I feel like you've given me a lot more information just now about the situation, which I really appreciate you explaining with me. I might have to have another little think about the nuances of what we're going to be able to do. It sounds like the situation with your housing is not right. The fact that you have a council accommodation, but it's not wheelchair friendly and isn't fair for you at all.
No, I can't. I was given new mobility equipment by the hospital, and I can't even use that mobility equipment because there's no ramp. So I'm stuck in my old NHS wheelchair. At least I would be able to get out of the property if there was a fire, but I can't get in unless there's somebody to help me up the steps. But I can go down the steps because it's only 3 steps, but I can't go up the steps.
I see.
And also there's nowhere to bath there. There's no bathing facility, so I have to wash elsewhere.
I see. Okay. Was there any point where you were living in that accommodation, or have you just not been able to access it at all?
No, I've never been able to access it. Even when I've had carers, the problem is that because I have seizures, which are very antisocial, the carers don't want me staying there, and so because they say it upsets their children, me being disabled. So it's more like I end up with squatters than I have a carer.
Okay.
Do you see the difficulty? Because
Yeah, I do.
because they're just strangers I meet on the street. There is no way to get a. There's no. I try to get a proper carer, but when I contact the care agencies, they've just said they can't help me because their insurance wouldn't cover it.
Okay.
I couldn't get a proper carer because of insurance reasons.
Okay. And so the carers that you were having were people that you just came across out and about on the street?
Yes, that's right. I need someone to help cook for me and wash my clothes because I can't do that myself.
Okay.
Otherwise,
It sounds like
I'm just eating out of bins.
Okay. It sounds like there's a lot going wrong with the support that you deserve versus the support that has been given to you, and the housing you deserve versus what has been given to you. And so I will, when I write to social services to advocate for you, I will make clear your needs and advocate that those need to be provided for you, okay? Harry, can I take an email address for you in case we need to contact you there?
30neo23@gmail.com. 30neo23@gmail.com.
Okay, just to double check that's 30neo23@gmail.com.
Yes.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to check if we did need to get back to you, are you comfortable with text messages?
Yes.
Okay.
But my data privacy is very important, because if the address where I have a council tenancy gets spread around, then wheelchair services can just say to me, "Oh, you don't live locally, so we can't fix your wheelchair."
I see.
And I've been using alternative wheelchairs services for 15 years, because the one where my council tenancy has consistently refused to fix anything on my wheelchair because I'm not registered with a local GP. And I can't register with the local GP because I've tried all of them, and my seizures mean that the GP say that my behavior upsets the other patients, and therefore I have to be removed from the patient register.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for explaining that. So as I say, in terms of the actions that I'm going to take, I'm going to write to social services to advocate on your behalf for everything that we've spoken about. In terms of that more specialised sexual violence support, I'm going to send you the info of some specialist organisations and that you can kind of reach out to. There are a few different ones. The first one would be one called Survivors UK. They specialise with working with men and non-binary survivors. The second one would be Gallup. They specialise in supporting people who identify as LGBTQ+, if that did feel like the right space for you. And the third one would be with an organisation called Respond, who specialise in working with survivors with autism and learning difficulties. Do any of those organisations sound of particular interest to you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And would you prefer that information in a text message or an email?
Either.
Either? Okay, lovely. And Harry, while I have you on the phone as well, I just want to make sure we're not missing any support needs. I wanted to check if you feel safe within yourself at the moment. So are you having any thoughts of wanting to hurt yourself or not wanting to be alive at all?
Yes, but I'm in contact with the Samaritans.
Okay. I understand. And at the moment, does that look more more like wanting to hurt yourself, or is it more not wanting to be alive, or both?
I'm waiting for the Assisted Dying Act to become law.
Okay.
And then I've asked my GP to make sure that my medical file gets to the chief medical officer so that I can be euthanized.
Okay. And do you have any plans at the moment to harm yourself at all?
Nothing other than trying to follow the correct protocol for assisted dying.
Okay. It sounds like your situation right now is really, really difficult. As I say, you're not being provided with the support that you deserve, so I can understand why things might feel pretty hopeless right now. But it's possible if we do advocate to get some better support in place for you, who knows, things might feel a bit different with time. So I want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to just give you the chance to see what that's like.
My most important thing is my training for my guardian. My guardian is refusing training and doesn't want to be my guardian, which means I would have to get somebody else as a guardian, and I wouldn't feel comfortable with that because I've put a lot of effort into this particular guardian, and if I have to get another guardian, then I don't feel that I'm appropriately qualified just to go and pick strangers off the street, end up in some type of sexual relationship and say, well, that's the best I've got, because then the person is just a stranger, really.
Yeah, of course, I completely hear that. And do you have a new guardian at the moment?
No.
The one that left in June? No one at the moment?
No,
Okay.
but the person who left in June is still my guardian. I'm still sending them the money every month.
Okay.
I
understand. And Harry, the last bit of info I just wanted to ask is, I know you mentioned you have one child that was born 3 years ago. Are there any other children under 18 that you have?
I have some fatherless grandchildren who I look after.
Okay. Okay. And how old are they?
I think 9 and 12
Okay.
and 17.
Okay. How often do you kind of look after them?
Maybe once a month.
Okay. Do they live with their mother?
Yes, they do.
Okay. And then your most recent child, I know you said born 2022. I'm estimating that they must be about 3 years old now. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Are you comfortable sharing their name?
No, I can't do that.
Okay. That's okay. No worries. Okay.
I don't want to make any problems for my guardian.
I understand.
We have enough problems with the police and the social workers breaking down everybody's door in the neighborhood, trying to find us.
Yeah, it sounds like it's already a lot. I do understand that.
Yeah, I think that people don't understand data privacy.
Yeah.
The child is vaccinated.
Okay.
It's not an unvaccinated child. So I don't understand why they would be pursuing. So I think part of the problem was that the mother wasn't entitled to NHS care. And so when she was pregnant, when we got a bill from the NHS for £15,000 for antenatal care, which we couldn't afford, we left the hospital, and that's when the problem started, because we couldn't afford the ultrasound and the blood tests, and that's when they started breaking down people's doors to get their hands on the pregnant mother.
I see. Okay. That sounds like another very traumatic situation.
It's terrible. I don't understand that. Why, if people can't afford NHS care, why can't they find an alternative thing? And I've been trying to negotiate to pay the bill for the parts that we still owe them, and they just don't want to talk to me. They keep refusing to speak to me about it. I don't understand why.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't understand that either.
I've tried to make complaints, and I'm just ignored.
Okay.
I have outstanding bills with the hospital.
Yeah, that is very strange. Once again, I can include that in my letter to social services, who would be best placed to kind of assist and advise on that.
Can you please say that we have a debt with the NHS hospital that the hospital is refusing to liaise with us about?
Okay.
And we want to get a solution. We can't have this debt hanging over us. We don't want the bailiffs coming round breaking people's doors down and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll definitely make sure to make that clear. But as I say, overall, I'll be writing that letter with all those points. I'm going to send you an email with all that information on the more specialist sexual violence services that we mentioned. That's everything for now. If anything else does come up, I'll give you a call or a text. But that's everything that I needed information-wise from you. Did you have any questions or concerns before we finish this call?
What is your name, please?
Mia.
Oh, no, that's it. Thank you for your help, Mia.
That's okay. Thank you so much for speaking with me. I hope you have a gentle rest of your day and take care.
Thank you, Mia.